Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? It's your guy, DeMarcus, and I just want to say hello to you as we get started with our motivational mix this morning. All right, so today's video is going to be Exhaust All Options. This is July 22nd, 2019, and it's the beta project here. And yeah, you can always find me on YouTube at Humble and Focused also. Today's quote, we have two quotes from Thomas Edison. Both quotes are amazing. The first one is, when you've exhausted all possibilities, remember this, you haven't. And I love this quote because it goes perfectly with today's video, is that all possibilities, like all the possibilities you can possibly think of, when you've gone through all of those, there's still more. You just haven't thought of them yet. The person you are will not be able to get to them yet. So until you get all the other stuff out of the way, then all of a sudden, oh, wait a second, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this a different way, or maybe I can do this better. So, exhaust all the options, ladies and gentlemen, all of them. So, let's get started, shall we? Good morning, how are you? We're back in the room. Remember my blessed sign? It's lovely, I love it. So, we're talking about exhausting all the options. So, let's go ahead and get started today. I was thinking about something, because I had a situation. This weekend's been a really great awakening situation, you know. First of all, congratulations to Justin Diller and Jessica Diller, well, Jessica Ladd, now Jessica Diller, on their wedding. It was awesome. We had a great time. And Fred Bird came up and just hung out with us. That was a great wedding. So thank you for having me. It was a blessing to be able to DJ the wedding of my friends that I've known since at least middle school. So that's just such a big deal. And they found love with each other again in a class reunion, and now they're married. So that's really cool. So now let's keep going. So we're talking about exhausting all the options. And I had a great situation that happened to me and a friend of mine. We were talking, and this person was going through some things, and you know, I was like, okay, cool. And so they were telling me about all the things that they wanted to do, and all the things, and how it wasn't working here, and it wasn't working there, and it wasn't working anywhere, and it was this, and it was that, and it was that. And I was like, okay. And I said these words. I said to them, have you exhausted all the options? And they're like, but this, that, and the other, and this, and that, and this, that, this, that, take it to gas, this, that. And I was like, okay, well, have you exhausted all the options? And they sat quiet, and they said, I think I have. And I was like, okay, have you exhausted all the options? That's what I need you to dwell on. And so the situation that was going on that obviously could not be solved because there was no way to solve it, to come the next day, it was solved. And it made me think in my heart, like, how many people do we know how many times have we in our lives gone through a situation and thought that we have given everything we possibly could, but then we exhaust all the options? I remember my track workouts and my football workouts where they would run. Oh my God, let's go to football. I remember my football workouts where they would run you up and down, high school, college, didn't matter, even semi-pro, all this running we used to do. And everybody's tired, and everybody's dead. Some people laying on the ground because it's 100-degree heat in Missouri. You know how it is. It feels like you're in an oven and you can't breathe. And just as you're thinking you're done and you can't move anymore, you get on the line and you run again. Now, why is that they do that? Is because at the end of the day, when you're on that field and you've exhausted all of your options, meaning you have nothing left in your tank, you've got to go to that next level. See, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we often think when we're going, we give 50%, and that's a safe place for our body to feel, okay, wait a second, that's safe. So this is all I can give. I've given 50%, I've given 75%, this is all I can give. And it takes someone outside of us that's not us, because the reason that we stop at that 50-75% mark and we say that's all we have and we exhaust all the options is because it's safe there. Going past that is not safe. Buying something that you need to buy past that because my money's a certain way is not safe. You know, working out to this level and getting to here where I'm sweating and I'm breathing hard, but going any further because I can't breathe hard, that's not safe. So we often stop ourselves before we get to the end, right? So, you know, then the coach puts you on the line and says, all right, we're going to run some more. And you're like, how in the world am I supposed to do that? He blows the whistle, and guess what happens? You go. You thought you were completely out of energy. You thought you were done. You thought you were tired to the point where you couldn't move anymore, and you just got on the line and you ran. Now, you may not be running as fast as you usually ran, but it happened. I'm gonna tell you a story about me, because you know I like to talk about me. When I was in high school, I actually tried out every year for the basketball team. Every freaking year. Never made it. No junior high. I'm sorry, no JV, no freshman, no none of it, right? Varsity. And in practices, I remember, I will never forget these. They were called suicides. And you would basically he would put on the clock, you would have a scoreboard behind us, and on the clock it would say a minute 7 seconds. And in that minute and 7 seconds, you had to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I'm not mistaken, it was 10 suicides, back and forth, side to side court. And I will never forget this because it happened every year, except for there was 1 year that this didn't happen. Put us on the line to run these sprints, these suicides, and he'd say, go, and he'd blow the whistle, run down, touch, boom, 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 got it, boom, 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 got it. And everyone had to make it, and I often did not make it. Now, back then, I didn't realize what I was doing with my team, but that's a whole different video. But we all had to make it as a team, and I would often not make it. And so he would say, get on the line and do it again. And we would have to get on the line and do it again. And I often did not make that. But it would come down to like 3 or 4 times to where I would get on the line to do this, and I couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, where I'm thinking I'm dead because I just ran all these sprints and my lungs are about to burst and I can't feel my legs, he says, step up again. And I'm like, wait a second though. I've exhausted all of my energy. All my option for running for you is gone. And he's like, step up to the line. Everyone, we're running this again. And I step up to the line, and somehow, and it worked out every time, he wouldn't let us stop until we got there. Somehow I would make it under the time frame, which means that I didn't give my all at the beginning. I allowed something to reserve back. But it wasn't until I stepped up, even when I was dead tired and couldn't move anymore, that I had to step up to this line and still complete my task. So I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, have you exhausted all the options in your life when you say you can't do it, when you say it's not possible? Have you exhausted all the options when you say there's not enough time in the day? That's false, because you're sleeping real hard. You're sleeping real nice. You say, I need sleep. Do you? If you want the success for your life, you're going to have to sacrifice some things. So you may not be able to do all this or do all that, but you may not be able to sleep as much as you want to for right now. But have you exhausted all the options to get everything you want in life? I need to ask you that. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, inside of your head, and this is a big deal, because I think the word excuses and the word reasons or explanations are exactly the same. They are exactly the same. There's only one difference. Inside my head, when I was running those sprints, I was telling myself, I can't make it. I can't do it. That was my reason to myself of why I couldn't get what I needed to get done. But on the outside, when I'm telling people I can't do it, that is my excuse. So ladies and gentlemen, inside, you have reasons for yourself. Outside, there are excuses. No matter what you say, your explanation of why you can't do it is no longer a reason once you leave your mouth. It's an excuse to someone else why you shouldn't have to do what you want to do, or why you should have to do what you're supposed to do. I always say, excuses sound great to the person that is saying it. I'm sorry, excuses sound great to the person that's saying it. Because to you it's a reason, to them it's an excuse. So what excuses are you giving yourself and leeway so you can get the things so you don't have to go and do the extra? Ladies and gentlemen, life is not designed to be easy, but it is designed to be taken control of, and you can do anything and be anything in your life you want to be. But you've got to step up, leave the excuses at home, and give everything you have and exhaust every single option you possibly can have to get what you want. And understand that after you have exhausted all options, remember, you haven't. That's just the beginning. That's just where it starts. I ran 3 or 4 of those suicide things, and all of a sudden I exhausted all my possibilities. I couldn't do it. But then I somehow stepped up and did it in the 5th one, where I'm more tired than I ever been. Well, see, think about that. That means sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go to the end of your rope. You have to go to the end of the sidewalk before you can fly. You have to get to the end and then jump. But sometimes it's not going to work at the beginning, because at the beginning, in your mind, you don't think you can do it anyway, so why do it in the first place? Or in your mind, this is a hard situation that's going to take a little time. Whatever reason you're telling yourself, whatever excuse you're telling everybody else, whatever reason you're telling yourself, right? So keep that in mind. So let me go to the last quote. It's a little fuzzy, but it's okay. You read it. It's by Edison too. Many of life's failures are people who didn't realize how close they were to success and they gave up. I love getting these quotes from Edison, because Edison, of all the people I know, he's one of the people that has the story that shows giving up is not an option. And if he does, we don't have light. So giving up is not an option. Think about it. I think it was 10,000. He says he found 9,999 ways not to create the light bulb. But on his 10,000th try, he figured it out. He figured out how to make explosive powder. He figured out how to make this, but he didn't figure out how to make a light bulb until he got to his 10,000th time. How many people would have lasted to 10,000? Back in the day, I wouldn't have lasted. 10,000 times. 10,000 times he failed. Ladies and gentlemen, and all we're asking you to do is to step up into yourself and exhaust all your options. He did that. I guarantee you he got to the end of his rope, exhausted all his options, and he had to sit there, because when you get to the end of your rope and you've done everything you understand, like you've done everything you know, you have to examine it and think of it in a different way. And now all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, what if I just tweak this a little bit? Or what if I go to a different place to get what I need to get? Or you've got to change that perspective. But you can't change perspective. You can't get outside your head until you've gone through all the options your brain has to offer and you've nullified every single one of them. Now your brain's like, okay, now we got to find a new situation or a new solution for this situation. So ladies and gentlemen, I need you to answer something for me. I really do. I need you to answer something. Have you exhausted all your options? Because you're very close to success, but you gave up. And most people, they live in that give up. And then now here's what's crazy. As soon as they give up and they're done, they give up and everything else, the first thing they say is, it doesn't work. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Oh, no. And then not only does it not work for them, but they have the audacity to tell everybody else it doesn't work and block blessings from other people. Oh, it does work, but you gave up. Oh, it does work, but you didn't exhaust all your options. Oh, it did work, but you didn't start here and look at it this way. And then look at it this way. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? This is a phone, right? If I'm trying to turn the phone on like this, it doesn't work. But I got to turn it on this way. There's two sides of this phone. But if I don't turn this phone over, and I'm sitting up here like, why isn't this phone working? Now all of a sudden, I don't have the right perspective to understand why this doesn't work. For me, this is just a bad phone, not just throw it away, right? But in all reality, it's just the perspective of the way I'm looking at this thing. So ladies and gentlemen, here's what I got to tell you. One, you're closer to success than you realize, but you need to get out of your mindset. Once you get to the end, say, great, I've exhausted all my options. What's next? It doesn't go into the situation where I've exhausted all my options. Oh, I'm done. I quit. Let me go. No, it's not like that. You've exhausted all options. Now what's next? Now I need to figure out a way to make this work for me. That's number one. And number two, and I'm going to start it how I began it, is that when you've exhausted all your possibilities, ladies and gentlemen, remember this. You have not. You haven't exhausted all possibilities. You know how I know you haven't exhausted all possibilities? Because it's not done yet. That's how I know. And that's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here with me, ladies and gentlemen. Stop giving yourself reasons and excuses to give to other people. Keep those reasons and excuses to yourself, and don't allow them to stop your blessing, because you are blessed if you allow yourself to be. Otherwise, you are. See, the thing is, that's a B. Let's see if I can see it. Here we go. There we go. Ready? Get my big head? That could be blessed or that could be blocked. You tell me. See what I did there? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, there you go. My big old head. Okay. You can be blessed or you can be blocked. It's your choice. But you have this decision you have to make on the inside. And based on what you tell yourself, will tell you what you get on the outside. That's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you being here. I believe and I love in each and every single one of you. Just in case nobody's told you that in a while, you can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. But you have to step up. You cannot block yourself. And you have to get to the end of that rope. And then after you get to the end of that rope, step up and then do a little bit more. I will talk to you soon. Have a great Monday.